of my records, and I outlined our two big issues, and the guy was like, wow, and agreed with us. So you may want to look at that, okay?
Okay.
So for people who couldn't be here physically, we got the conference call, and if you're traveling, because I talked to about 3 or 4 producers yesterday, one of them's traveling to Philadelphia today, I said, no problem, here's Plan C. Plan C is the 13-minute video. So Plan A, you physically come to the meeting. Plan B, you can call in on the free conference call. Plan C, I tape recorded my conversation with Gale Brewer's staff on Friday and put it up on a video in 13 minutes. It neatly outlines the civil rights issue and our lack of representation. So, you know, everybody should be informed. And then, are you filming now?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Listen, Dean Loren, we're filming this. Can you say hello?
Hello, everybody. This is Dean Loren calling from MNN Siberia Gulag.
He's been banned in violation of his civil rights.
He's been banned?
Banned.
Yes. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why we're here. You know what? This is, let me just outline.
Is he suspended or banned?
Banned. So that was suspended, banned. I mean, they can take no adverse action against you.
Oh, wow.
Unless you have a fair hearing. Now, a fair hearing means they have to give you written notice. Oh, here's Alan. Hey, come on in.
Hi. Hey, Joe.
I'm sorry, Alan, you could have used your own laptop.
Why did they?
You could have used
We're going to get to that. Sit down. Hello.
Okay. Excuse me. Why did they ban you, Dean?
It doesn't matter the reasons why. Dean, we've got him on conference call.
I oppose the political taking of producers' studio slots to produce political activities by Zenaida.
But you know, can I interrupt for just 1 second? It doesn't matter why you were banned. The issue is, before they ban you, they have to give you written. You have to have they have to have a written, published procedure that fully comports with the spirit of the law. They can take no adverse action against you, even if you were 1,000% in the wrong, until there's due process. So there has to be, for example, a written notice to you. There has to be. You have to prepare for a hearing.
That's right.
You have to have a. Thank you, Josh. You have to have a neutral, objective hearing members. You have to have people with you. You have to have a procedure where you can compel witnesses. You have to be able to be in the room to face your accuser. Everything should be in a certified verbatim transcript so they can't lie about what you said. Did any of that happen for you, Dean?
Well, you know what? They sent me a letter, and the postman didn't deliver it, and I found out on the Lower East Side, anybody that has litigation going on is not receiving their mail. And so there's a whole, so we had to, there were about 5 of us that went to the postmaster manager to complain.
You know, I hate to tell you, go ahead.
So, you know, in essence, I've had my lawyer request them to resend everything, and in fact send a copy to my lawyer.
Okay, but they can't, this is all supposed to happen before they ban you. There's supposed to be an investigation. They're supposed to talk to you. They're not just, go ahead, Josh.
I want to say, I'm sure that they did not do that to Penny Pendergraft. And she's been doing the same kind of programming for years. Now she's banned, so we had to contact her. She lives in the same building that Bob Dylan lived in the Village, Penny Pendergraft. We have to get a hold of her. Find out.
I mean, this is all symptoms of a problem about transparency. I mean, yes, Dean, everyone, I mean, people will be banned, but why are we not hearing about the working mechanism behind this organization? Why do we not know why Dan Kaufman's making $300,000? What's he doing with that money? I mean, we need transparency. We need to talk to the borough president. Why isn't she here?
Thank you, because that brings us to our another big issue, which is very significant decisions have been made over the last 2 or 3 years. We're supposed to have a representative on the board. We have a representative on the board. I don't know. She never talks to us.
Well,
And
she's not a
we went to-
representative.
Exactly. So all
We went-
decisions that were made are null and void, which is why we're here today. Now, if you're having, just give me 1 second, because I'm also doing this to talk the audience through it a little bit too, because I know you're going to air it, so I don't want them to be lost. So for the last 2 or 3 years, MNN has all of our emails. They have all of our phone numbers. God forbid I did something wrong, I would be, they could contact me immediately to discipline me. So you're telling me my representative on the board can't contact me, and you were going to say that you actually talked to her.
When we went up, when Deedeehalleck was up at 59th Street, when they were having a meeting, a board meeting, that they weren't letting people in, but me and Paula got in. But when they came out, we tried talking to the representative, right? And she said to us, we're not allowed to talk to the producers.
That's ridiculous.
What kind of representative is not allowed? No, Paula and I and some other people put together a producer's bill of rights, and that's the thing I want to go over today.
Good.
I mean, I think it doesn't matter how much Dan or anyone else is making. I just want to know what this organization is about, who's running it, how much money is being given to MNN a year?
14,000 we heard from
14,000,
14
million.
Where is that money going? That's supposed to be going to the producers. Why isn't some of that money being spent on props that we could use to make our sets nicer?
Well, these are all issues for our representative. Where is our representative?
Why is it that producers can't get the staff to do camera and lighting for them like they used to do?
Right. So the first priority of this station is for the producers, the second is the staff, and then the management. They're last in line. The majority of money should be spent on producers. Yes, they created a nice HD studio, which was really great because they needed to do something with all that money. But where's it going? Why isn't there transparency? Let's go over our Bill of Rights. Do you still have that?
I think who's our...
Just a second. First, I want to clarify a few things. First of all, we have a phone here where we could have a much more comfortable exchange with whoever calls in. The equipment is here, so for all practical purposes, anybody who's being given a tour of the fabulous Manhattan Neighborhood Network studio, it would seem as though the producers are supported with the state-of-the-art equipment. We can't call out from this conference phone, nor can for some reason we accept a call in so we can get this hookup and it'll be nice and easy. Second problem, this little HDMI hookup. Oh, Joe, you got to go out because you're picking up.
This is
Yeah, hold on. Dean, hang on.
We should be back in a couple hours.
Well,
VGA. Do they have VGA?
no, they don't. They can't.
So the way we set up this meeting was we asked people to show up in person.
2 hours.
Well, the way we set up this meeting was we asked people to show up in person. If you couldn't show up in person, I set up a free conference call. So I can't call out to get to the free conference call, but it's a free conference call, so it's not costing anybody anything. We can't even call into this from our cell phone, so we put it on speaker. So it looks, like you said, it's misleading because, you come in here and they razzle-dazzle you, but it's a triumph of appearance over substance.
Yeah. I mean, what Lydia and what everybody in this room is doing, we could be doing in the park, essentially. All you need to do is have, some electricity. This is unavailable to us because we don't have the hookup.
And these are all issues for our representative.
And then I was told, oh, well, this is for the staff anyway. The producer's not supposed to be here. That's what
the big issue is we need a representative, and why isn't the borough president contact them, in touch with us? There's something wrong here.
Now this is significant because all of us went, and we had a meeting with the borough president. She was supposed to write us a letter. Before the letter was sent, she promised that we would see a draft, so we were all on the same page. It took us months to get the letter. The letter was weak. And when we told them that the letter was weak, they didn't like it. There's supposed to be a second letter. It does not appear to be forthcoming. I sent an email. You guys got it. I personally went on Wednesday. This meeting is happening on Saturday. On Wednesday, I went to the Manhattan Borough President's office, and I talked to Jessica Mates. I said, did you get the email? Is Gale Brewer going to be there? I got no response.
Why don't we all go down there?
We should, but wait. On Friday, I called the Manhattan Borough President's office, And this is really good because I tape recorded the conversation, so if you weren't able to come, play this. This is really good.
So my hope was that we were able to play it on the state-of-the-art monitor.
And her staff is agreeing with us. That's why you have to listen to this.
Now let's listen and see if the mic picks up, Daniel, because I want this recorded.
So this is a telephone conversation with staff at the office of the Manhattan Borough President. That's Gale Brewer. I accidentally misspelled her first name. It should be Gale. On Friday, we got to pump up the volume here. Yeah, it's.
This is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. All right, you know what? If you're out,
read it.
Well, you need to hear it, so I just put this here. It basically.
Well, let's go back a little bit. We can just read what's being said here.
Well, the important thing is she actually. So this is my telephone call. I'll repost it and I'll pump up the volume.
Telephone.
This is a telephone conversation with staff at the Manhattan Borough President's office. This is Gale Brewer, and I accidentally misspelled her name. It should be Gale. On Friday, August 22nd, 2014, and it's regarding one, the producers at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, MNN, were banned without fair hearings in violation of their civil rights, and two, producers at MNN have no representation on the board effectively in violation of the bylaws. And this is the telephone number, 212-669-0785. I'll repost this for, if those of you at home are listening to this, just plug in your headphones and the audio will be fine. So it's unfortunate we can't play it, but as soon as I repost it, I'll pump up the volume.
But why don't we all go down? This is a scandal.
Yeah.
Something is not being told to us. It's being hidden. And why don't we know? This station is made for us, the producers. Why do we not have rights? Why can't we go and talk to somebody? Like Gale Brewer, she's supposed to be representing us, right?
Right. The only power that the Manhattan Borough President's office has is this franchise. She's supposed to have 2 seats on the board. Her seats have not been filled. There, as near as I can figure, because I can't get a straight answer, there are 5 seats on the board. We could have up to 19 seats on the board. Somehow we got down to 5. There's 1 producer who's supposed to represent us. We don't know how she got on the board. We don't know what her term of office is.
Who is she?
We don't know who she is. She never holds a meeting. She never sends an email. So how can you purport to represent us when you never talk to us, your constituency? So it's obvious she's being told how to vote. And Joe and Paula can sign affidavits that say they made a good faith effort to reach out, and they were told, you know, you're being treated with contempt. You know, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I just want to have a meeting with Gale Brewer. We'll bring as many producers there. We'll present her with the Producer's Bill of Rights. Can we go over that with the Bill of Rights?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
But let me find it first. No, keep talking. Sorry.
Can I make ask one question?
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. We're listening.
Anybody there?
Yeah, Dean, we're here. Talk.
Maybe
yeah, there has to be some way to let people know, like, who's got the floor, like, you know, so you have to moderate verbally. Very quickly, to answer that last question, what Gale Brewer's office does not want MNN producers to know is that the 180-day window to respond to the Comcast merger with purchase with Time Warner's cable system, which is made possible by our franchise, and technically it is an asset of the sale.
Okay, Dean, this is the important point. No. Anything that they're doing in violation of the bylaws is null and void. That's why this is a big egg on their faces. Oh, and here's Gloria.
Hey,
come on in, Gloria.
Hi, I have the Bill of Rights and I have the mission statement.
Oh, come on in. Great, we got more people.
Hi.
Hey.
Let me add something.
Time for us to make a notice to the FCC.
No, Dean, you're taking us down the No, you're taking this down. There is no limitation.
Actions with the franchise.
It's fraud, fraud, and more fraud. Look, if you've got a representative on the board for the past 2 or 3 years that has been voting and making decisions, and they're a railroad train, and they're ignoring us, that's all in violation of the bylaws. We have no representation. I don't care what you did. I don't care. There is no statutory limitations because fraud vitiates all proceedings. That's why this is big egg on Gale Brewer's face, and it's a big embarrassment to all the elected officials. And this video that I created for my tape-recorded conversation, her staff is agreeing with us. And I'm saying, what are we asking Gale Brewer to do? Come down here like Dies Machina, God from heaven, throw your weight around. You've only been in office for like a year. Throw your weight around, champion civil rights. I'm sure Gale Brewer, and I was very polite when I talked to her. I'm like, I expect that as a powerhouse of the Democratic Party, she's going to come down here like a lioness and say, no, you can't do anything to anybody in violation of their civil rights. How dare you? And then she should say, excuse me, they have a right to representation. I mean, our representative is supposed to be talking to us, and if she's not, then all of this is null and void. I'm sorry if this is a big embarrassment to all you elected officials. I'm sorry if Dan Kaufman looks stupid because he signed all these contracts, but that's the way it is. What they don't like is a bunch of little crazies. I'm sick and tired of being treated with contempt and character assassinated and bullied and all the other tactics that they use to play us off against each other. Our representative needs to be here and start answering these questions. And she doesn't like it because we're holding their feet to the fire. Now here's the other thing. You violate our civil rights, and this is something we got to double and triple check. Hope to God, get down on our knees, that New York as a corporation, their powers to operate, hope to God that it says that they cannot violate our constitutional rights, because you just did. So now
it does.
Good. So now, Gale Brewer, it's entirely appropriate for you to be down here because you're threatening New York City's charter, their very right to exist. How dare you do this?
And let me tell you something else. When we went to that meeting on 59th Street, one of the members of the board is from HBO. Why is there a member from HBO on the board of MNN?
So all of these public assets have been amassed. MNN is being taken private. And we're a bunch of dumb buddies who are the front to this scam. And this happens all the time in basic science research. Public money goes to fund public research, basic science research. A discovery is made, and then that discovery is given to a private corporation. They make a lot of money. That's basically what's happening here. Harvard has been complaining about this for 40 years. Okay, so we want to know if we're the front, the stooges, where all of this stuff, all this millions of dollars equipment is all being amassed and they're really taking us private, that's a big issue. And then the other issue is they're moving us from channel 34 to channel 1995, and our viewers are not going to look for us.
They've already moved, Alan.
Well, they already moved. They already sold out about 10 years ago. They sold out channel 16. I was on channel 16.
14.
16. I got thousands of views, and then I talked to someone who met with Time Warner and said, "Oh yeah, we're moving 16 to 57." I said, "How can you do that? Why are you doing this?" They said, "Oh, because it's part of the contract." It was a very runaround answer by someone at MNN, this woman who's not here anymore. Looked like she was getting paid off, just my impression, by Time Warner to sell out channel 16. There's no reason they needed to sell out channel 16.
What year was that?
That was probably 1997, 98.
And did you experience that your viewership went
Absolutely, from 16 right at the top of the dial to 57, totally went down from thousands to hundreds maybe. I've sat getting thousands of viewers on channel 16.
Later on, I'm going to make a presentation on IP address discrimination, and then I'm going to use Alan's. He's going to log on to YouTube, and we're going to explain in a very simple way how 100,000 hits a month went down to 2,000, because with YouTube you do get access to ratings.
What Gloria has
Okay. I have with me the Association of Cable Access Producers mission statement and their Bill of Rights, which was written August 23, 1998.
Let's see.
And this is my only copy right
You'll
now.
get it back.
All right, so this is, I want you to read it to the people, because this is what we were fighting for. And what we're fighting, if we had stayed with that, we wouldn't be here.
Thank you, Gloria, because this is another big issue. I asked for the bylaws. I asked to see, they're supposed to be
There's
transparent.
nothing in the bylaws.
Well, you know,
that relates to.
So where's our representative who's supposed to
We
be?
don't have any, but that's what we were asking for, and that's what we should be asking for.
Okay,
and
so
I
what
want
does
you
it
to
say?
read that.
Okay, so this is this is ACAP, the Association of Cable Access Producers mission statement. The Association of Cable Access Producers, thereafter referred to as ACAP, is an organization formed to secure and protect equal access of individual producers to public access cable program scheduling and facilities in all access centers provided by public access cable administrators that receive funding by viewer levies derived from franchises of public airways. Equal programming and facilities access shall be deemed to include studios, editing facilities, video and field equipment, mobile equipment, and education in the operation of all public access facilities and equipment, thereafter referred to as facilities and services, and to ensure that access to said facilities is not be denied to any individual or public access producers as set forth in the public access franchise agreements. ACAP is committed to maintaining the access of individual producers and the general public to all facilities and services in all access centers on an equal and non-discriminatory basis, including but not limited to race, religion, ethnicity, gender, sexual preference, or political affiliation. So we're supposed to have access.
This is what the producers were fighting for, and before MNN broke us up and took us out of, we used to meet here, and we were powerful. This is the Bill of Rights that ACAP had originally. I'm going to make copies.
Yeah,
Why are we not allowed to meet here as the ACAP meeting?
Because I wasn't there one day, and the next thing I knew, I came back, they approached Harold, you take it out of here, take it to your apartment.
Why?
Because they wanted to break us up. That's what they want to do.
This place is made for the
Well,
producers. It's made for us. It's
hold
not
on.
made for the
But
staff or the management.
This is what they do. Read that.
Because
That
they're
is
playing us
awesome.
off against each
Read
other.
that too. That's the Producers' Bill of Rights. This was written in 1998.
I have more Bill of Rights I want to add to that.
Well, first be sure it's not on here.
Well, let's look at the...
Okay, you want to read it?
Read
Yeah.
it.
Individual public access producers will hereinafter be recognized as program providers having the mandate right to use public access facilities in all access centers provided by public access cable administrators pursuant to franchise agreements including but not limited to studios, editing and field equipment, mobile equipment, training equipment, and facility provided for public access television producers. Well, that's sort of happening, right? The right, number two, the right of individual cable access producers to organize on a local, national, or international basis shall not be interfered with directly or indirectly by public access administrative staff, political, or government agencies. Number three, public access cable broadcast time slots shall be made available to individual cable access producers and the general public on a non-discriminatory basis, including race, religion, ethnicity, gender, sexual preference, or political affiliation. Number four, the assignment of time slots, the use of public access facilities, including studio, editing equipment, field equipment, mobile equipment, training shall be available to individual public access producers and the general public on the equal first come, first served basis.
Which we're not doing.
Okay. Number five, the assignment of broadcast time slots, public access facilities, studios, etc. of MNN shall be made available to individual cable producers, the general public, the community, and political groups on a balanced and equal basis. Number six, public access production facilities and equipment shall be kept in proper working order and maintained, repaired, and replaced in a timely fashion. Number 7, individual producers and community organizations shall be entitled to a balanced and equal award of grant money. Yeah, that's
We were getting grant money
We
back
were?
then. Yes.
Back
we
then.
Okay,
were.
so we're not getting
Keep-
grant money now?
No.
Okay,
Keep
so
going.
so our representative on the board should be
Grant
here.
money is going to a political person.
I have a whole new
Go on.
aspect
Read
of
read
the
the
rights,
rest
but I
of
will. There's 20 of them. Okay. Individual public access producers shall have the right to vote in decision-making process of the public access center, including human and financial resource acquisitions and dispersal, grant distribution, rules and regulations, educational programs that govern use of public access facilities, and any and all auxiliary policies that directly affect the producer's public. Number 9, no certified public access producer, individual producer, or community group shall be denied access to production facilities without due process.
Great.
Number 10,
Our due process rights were just violated.
public access service facilities equipment shall be made available to individual public access producers 7 days a week on a 24-hour basis. Well, if you have the money to,
They have it, just go on.
no, but I'm just
Yeah.
discussing.
Well, again,
point by
our
point.
representative, no, it's fine. Our representative on the board should be here. Where is she? She purports to represent our interests. We don't know who she is.
Did anyone invite her?
Please, they went to the board and met with her personally, what, like a year and a half ago?
But
And
did anyone invite her today?
we don't
Who
even
is
know
she?
who is she?
It's
What's her
Vanessa.
phone? Vanessa.
I have her telephone.
Well, why, we should
Why
call
didn't you
her.
invite
Give us her phone number. Let's call her. What are you doing? Come down here and be held accountable.
Okay, go on.
Number 11, producers shall be entitled to have an independent arbitration board consisting of one certified arbitrator, one attorney, one individual producer selected by a general vote of producers, and one staff member at each access center.
Well, you can see they don't want us to have attorneys.
No.
God
We
forbid.
shall have an arbitrator. If Dean is not allowed here, he has a right to arbitration. And any disciplinary action deemed necessary against an individual or community group shall be documented in writing, set forth in complete detail the basis upon which said disciplinary action has been taken. Number 13.
And delivered to the person who is complained about.
And delivered to
Yeah,
the
these are all
person.
your due process
All right,
rights.
we'll add that.
You know, notice and a
Go
fair
on,
hearing and
go
a
on.
neutral board and a
Okay.
certified verbatim transcript. So, you know, and the ability to face your accusers. And all of this should happen before you're banned. Keep going.
13, individual public access producers or community groups subjected to any disciplinary action shall have the right to an announced prompt public hearing.
There you go.
At said hearing, the accused will be entitled to present witnesses, documents, and representation in order to defend themselves. I'm
Thank
adding that.
you.
I added in order
Thank
to defend
you.
themselves.
Thank you.
Number 14, individual public access producers shall have the further right to take any action made at public hearing to an outside arbitration board as defined in item 11.
There should also be a certified verbatim transcript of the public hearings. Keep going, okay.
Number
all
15,
that.
access to scheduling information regarding equipment, facilities, studio production, dates, and classes shall be made available to all certified producers during normal working hours on a non-discriminatory basis and online. We should have access to that
We
online.
didn't have online then.
We do?
Okay, no, go on.
Number 16, administrators of public access shall make all documents as required by law available to individual producers and the general public, including but not limited to bylaws, franchise agreements, financial statements, and operating plans. 17, public access producers certified to operate public access equipment shall have the right to assist fellow producers and or community groups and organizations with the operation of public access facilities, including studio, video equipment, editing equipment, and in any other borough or state. That's the key.
We'll add everything.
18, individual producers shall not be denied equal opportunity with community groups or political groups to reserve facilities, schedule program, utilize equipment, or attain training classes as a result of public access administration preferences. Number 19, no public access facility administrator or staff member may discourage or prevent a producer from seeking the assistance of another producer by expression, implication, or innuendo. Number 20, experienced public access producers shall be informed of any upcoming grant aid production and shall be afforded an equal opportunity to participate as crew member in said grant productions with compensation.
Wait, just 1 second there, because there was a huge opportunity a number of months back where the sort of regular news media or the regular media folks put together one-day filming in New York. They gave a free website, they gave free classes, they gave free networking with some really important people in the industry. MNN was a corporate sponsor. They never told us.
Why not?
Well, that's what I asked, and I got, are you serious? You're a corporate sponsor of this event. It went on for months. They gave us free classes. They gave us free.
Why didn't we know about it?
Well, I can't get a straight answer because our representative, couldn't put out a flyer, couldn't send an email.
Wait, if they are being a corporate sponsor, then and someone's contacting them, it's the right as a corporate sponsor to inform the people they're representing, which are the producers.
But they didn't.
Who's the corporation for? It's for us.
But they
We
didn't.
are the heart of this organization. Without producers, there's no MNN. Why aren't they?
Because
who made that decision? I want to know.
Because
who decided to be the corporate sponsor for MNN, and who decided not to tell the producers?
And that
you
don't get an answer because our representative on the board doesn't talk to us.
Hold on, there's something you have not acknowledged.
What?
The board and the administration has complete, utter contempt for all the producers.
How do you know that? Why are they here? Why do they exist if they have contempt?
Because the point of this...
they have expressed their contempt.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know how they expressed it, but
they have.
They just told Paula Gloria and Joe Gordon they're not allowed to talk to us.
Wait, no, that was the last one, but I want to read the Producers' Bill of Rights that Paula, me, and Amber helped put together. Can I just read what we have? Producers' Bill of Rights supplement to initial
Can I add one thing to that? Something that should also be added to this, that two things. One, that they cannot control the content of producers.
That's a good point.
They can't. Unless you're trying to sell something, they can't.
Or if it's pornographic or illegal, I think.
Well, no, pornographic you can do after 11. Good, Dean, you're still
And the other point is,
on speakerphone.
Producers should be able to be on each other's shows. They gave me and Paula, in fact, they took us off one time.
What's happening on the phone?
No, he's just laughing. No, but Joe's right. But I think they did change that. We can't be on each other's show.
Can Molly Cheshire call in?
Everybody can call in. Just call in.
Can I say something? What happened is what they wanted to prevent was 10 producers taking over all the programming, which is what had happened.
It had?
And people were on each other's shows.
Yeah.
But that's the fault of the producers who did that, because basically it means that other producers do not have access to it. So if all 10 producers are on all the shows,
right, they've monopolized it.
You've monopolized it, and the other producers, the public doesn't have a right to it. That is what they were trying to prevent, which I believe should be done.
Okay. Let me read these other Bill of Rights that's supplementary. We want, number 1, total transparency and full disclosure. Producers need to know the total amount of monies given to MNN, where each and every penny goes, so producers know where they stand. The producers need what was I saying here? Not just that, but we need to know what the structure of this corporation is. No. Well, I know, but we need to know who's getting all the money, where is it coming from, where's it going, and we need to know how the structure of this corporation is set up. What rights do they think we have, and how do we claim rights?
If you could just give us the ratings, that would be...
I know, that's something else. Let me finish.
No, it's not something else. The ratings is everything.
Well, the ratings is
Well,
another
listen,
right.
it's not
We
their
demand ratings
responsibility
we
to
demand
give us
ratings
the
from Time
ratings.
Warner.
Should be.
We've
Well,
got to
it's
go.
not.
We've got
It's
to go.
explicitly, hello,
Public
Dean, you're here, don't worry.
Can you mute?
Dean, you're here. We're trying to do a video recording, so we've got to go one at a time.
Okay.
Otherwise, the poor editor here will never be able to
So we
straighten it out.
need to know the ratings from Time Warner, RCN, and FiOS. We need to know what shows are being watched. And they said someone said at Time Warner they didn't want to show us that because it interferes with their commercial ratings.
No, 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 no. It's explicitly stated in the bylaws that part of the mission here is to do research into cable viewership. So it's explicitly stated in the bylaws. So this is the mission. So in effect, we are like a test kitchen. We're all cooking up different cookies. And you're here, Dean. We're listening.
Can I comment real quick?
Go ahead.
Clear this up?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
In the first franchise, we were given the right to know our ratings, and they were never delivered to us.
Right, and it's in the bylaws. It's in the bylaws. That's
It's in the franchise
Yes, it's in the franchise.
agreement.
Yes, it's in the franchise agreement.
Well, how come we're not being told what our ratings are?
Because the whole point is to make us look like Wayne's World. Because if we put out a really professional product,
Okay,
then
I
how do you
understand
sell advertising to?
The commercial people.
Right.
Difficult to prove.
All right, but no, it's not difficult to prove how much people are watching. The box is a two-way communication.
Entitled to, and without all of the accusations that are difficult to prove.
Well, wait, let me continue with the Bill of Rights. We demand, number 2, to know our representative, who they are, what their function is. We demand to meet our representative and the right to air grievances and to be monitored by independent parties, separate from board and producers.
Right.
That we covered in the other one. And then we also demand equal representation on the board. There should be the same amount of producers on the board as there are other board members.
Okay, let me-
If there are 10 board members, there should be 5 producers that rotate.
Here, wait. Here, you didn't read the bylaws.
No,
The
I didn't.
bylaws, here's the deal with the bylaws, okay? You can have up to 19 people on the board. The producers are like 1/3. Here's what they did to get power. And nobody can explain how this happened, nearest I can figure. There are now 5 people on the board. One is a producer. She never talks to us. In order to have a quorum, you only need 3 people. So basically, MNN is being run by 3 people. They like it to be 1.
Who are these 3 people?
Well, again, our representative is supposed to talk to us. So our first action step is we're going to, communicate with our representative, get a meeting as quick as we can, and say, we want to meet with you. And I'm sure when she's confronted with all these issues, why are you making decisions? Why aren't you talking to us? How come you don't
Well, we
communicate?
demand to know who is on the board.
Yeah, and our representative is supposed to tell us, but she lied to 2 of our producers and said she's not allowed to talk to us. So you think we're all a bunch of dumb buddies that you're going to lie to?
The entire board will not talk to you.
Tough. Oh, Frank, thank you for coming.
Wait, I just want to put this other Bill of Rights is that number 1 at the top should be that the order of priority at MNN should be number 1, the public, number 2, the producers, number 3, the staff, number 4, the management. Their needs are met last after the public and the producers. Our rights, our needs, our ability to air grievances are number 1 above all else.
But we're being hoodwinked, okay? So we're the bunch of stooges, we're the scam, we're the front that allows all these materials to be amassed, and then what happens? We don't know. Where's our representative? So
Okay.
I suggest our first action step is we got to call the representative and have a meeting and have her be accountable to us. She's going to try to avoid us because we're holding our feet to the fire. Can we all agree on that simple action step? Yes?
Yes. Well,
Okay, good.
no, the representative or the borough president's office. I think we should bypass the representative and go right to the borough's president's
They
office.
just blew us off.
And say something is not right.
We
at
did that.
MNN.
We've been
Something's off.
calling Gale Brewer's.
Well, we have to go down there.
We did.
No, we'll go down there as a group.
We did.
We did?
Yes, we
I
had
didn't
a-
go down there.
We
How
had
about
a
we
meeting.
circulate a petition and get all the producers
No,
to
no.
sign on to it? 'Cause
No,
they like
we
to
get our-
work
we-
and
we
petition,
just
go
need to
through
meet
their
them
hoops
face
their
to
way.
face.
We did. We had a meeting with Jessica Mates.
Well, I didn't.
Okay, we can do it again.
All right, let's do it again. Okay.
Okay.
we want a complete analysis of the relationship between MNN and Time Warner and Comcast. What is that relationship?
Again, our representative on the board is supposed to be talking to us, and we're being treated, they're spitting in our faces.
Hold on one second. We are public access, and public access does not have anything to do with Time Warner or with Comcast.
It doesn't?
Public access is administered by Manhattan Community Access, which is a private company who has a contract to administrate it. Those are the people who should be responsible.
What do you mean it's a private contract?
It's they have a contract to operate Manhattan neighborhood.
MNN has a contract?
Manhattan Community Access is a private company who has contract to operate Manhattan.
Okay, wait. We can't have two
Tell
people.
Dean to be quiet.
Dean, hold on for a second. Let Gloria finish this, and then we're going to let you talk. So, because we can't fight over. So Gloria's going to talk for a couple minutes, and then you are going to talk immediately. Okay, go ahead, Gloria.
You have to be aware that we have nothing to do with Time Warner and with Comcast. What happens is Manhattan Community Access, which you'll notice the MNN name has been taken down, and they put up a new name, Manhattan Community Access, which is the name of a company that has the private contract to operate these facilities. And this company is the one that we should be addressing, and this is the one that we should be approaching, instead of wasting time going to this non-entity.
Okay, Dean, you want to say something? Go ahead.
I'm going to disagree with Gloria, and I'm going to send everybody a research paper to show that, in fact, the franchise which we all operate under was what permitted the cables to be laid under the street, and is, in fact, what Comcast is purchasing.
Excuse me, Dean, the wait, 1 second. The franchise is with Manhattan Community.
That's where we get our
It is with Manhattan Community
the two of you are
Access.
talking, she's talking at the same time you are.
The franchise is with Manhattan Community Access, not Manhattan Neighborhood Network.
Okay, the answer to all these questions
I don't know the difference.
should be answered by our representative on the board who took this job.
She doesn't know.
Okay, well, it was her fiduciary responsibility and the board's fiduciary responsibility and Dan Coughlin's fiduciary responsibility to make sure our representative talked of us. And if she didn't know, it was her job to hunt down the answers and respond to us. So we're going to call her. What's her phone number? What's her phone number?
I don't have it.
What's her name? What's her name?
Vanessa Corin.
Vanessa Corin.
Corin? Okay.
Vanessa Corwin.
Wait, I want to finish my Bill of Rights here. Is that, let me see. But okay, just get to it. Because out of the how much money is being given to M&N each year?
Millions.
No, 12 million is it?
In 2012, it was 12 million. In 2012.
In 2012, okay.
Plus 750,000 in unknown fees which they collected. I do not know
Unknown.
where they
Okay, so I have a demand that producers have a monthly right to some of that money for promotional services. They need to advertise MNN programs in the local papers. Why can't they use some of that money so the public knows what's happening here? And a monthly fee for producers to buy equipment to make their studio sets
buy
better.
tapes or get a
Buy a
MTA
table,
card,
buy a nice
transportation card, get
No,
an
not
MTA
that.
card.
Just chairs and sets for the
Wait,
sets.
Josh,
Sets. Once a month, we have a right to some money for promotion and improvement of our sets. We need like $10,000 or more, whatever it costs to take an ad out in the New York Times, New York
The
Post.
floor has not been painted in the closed studio for 3 years, yet they took pictures of all the producers and put them on the wall. They had a budget for that, which is thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, but not to paint the floor, and we've offered to come in and paint it for them.
Okay, wait.
There's $12
Josh, go
million
ahead.
we should have access to.
When I came here, there were grants, I remember, and they deteriorated to organizations, and finally they disappeared. And then Zenaida told me they disappeared. But when Paul and I interviewed John Galino, who used to do master control here during 9/11, and he claims, we did an interview with him, and he says Manhattan Neighborhood Network dropped the ball during the 9/11 crises. But more important, he kept referring to MNN as the corporation. He said that's one of the reasons they don't like me.
Is it a corporation or a
This is a
nonprofit?
corporation.
Yes,
And it's nothing
It's
less than
Manhattan
that.
Community
And John
Access, and the
Is that a
name is on
corporation
the-
or a
yes,
nonprofit?
It's a corporation.
So it's not a
private
nonprofit.
It don't
private-
matter
To the
if
best
it's a
of
corporate.
my
It
knowledge.
can be
To
a
the best of my knowledge.
501c corporate. It can still be a
But
corporation.
who's behind that? What?
And I've been trying to find out for 25 years.
Okay, so we need, step one, Vanessa Corin, who's our representative and took a job that had some responsibility, and she owes us a fiduciary duty. She's been on the board for 3 years, never talked to us, never got the lies
I
to
don't even know
us.
who she is.
We need her phone number, we need to call her, and we need a meeting with her, and we need a meeting with the Manhattan Borough President.
And we need a meeting with the board. The board can meet
They
the
lied-
producers.
They
Why
lied to
not?
us.
Basically, we want transparency and accountability.
Exactly.
Very
Exactly.
What do you
simple.
mean they lied to us?
Because
Transparency,
we-
accountability.
Okay, because we sent Paula Gloria and Joe Barton to a board
Why are
meeting about a year and a
Paul
half
Joe
ago.
gone?
And I don't know, they went outside for a minute. They,
She'll be back.
They've been gone for quite some time.
well, we'll get them back in. And they're willing to sign affidavits for this. And they approached the board and they said, we'd like to sit in on the meeting. We want a meeting scheduled. We had a meeting with Jessica Mates, the chief of staff at Gale Brewer's office. And we said,
Blew it.
and we said there's supposed to be open public meetings. She was presented with the law, said this is the Open Public Meeting Act. We want a schedule of we want a schedule of board meetings. We want to be there.
We need to be at the board meeting.
The bottom line
Whatever
is-
producer wants to sit in on a board meeting has a right to sit in
They
on the board meeting.
spit in our
Hold on.
faces.
When we did this, the cable access producers were strong. We got the right to be at the meetings, and they gave us the right to be there. And what they did, you sat down, they said, hello, introduce yourself, and then they said, okay, we're going into private session, you all have to leave.
Okay,
Really?
And that's what they're
Yeah.
going to give
Yeah, they
you.
did that to us.
What does
That's what
private
they're gonna
session
give
you.
mean?
It
Why
It means
isn't there
the producers
transparency?
are not allowed to.
Why? It's about us. This station
Because
is
it's
not
all
give
dirty
you
tricks to
access.
steal money,
It
guys.
is.
It's a fraud. We're
Are you
ahead.
talking about the board that you were?
The MNN board, this board.
So when you have a board meeting, there's a point where only the members of the board can meet. I'm just saying because I work in that field. So there's a point where it's illegal to have people outside of the board in a meeting that's being conducted by the board.
Do you know
if
why?
the board is
If it's the executive people,
Right.
the executive
Right.
have a right to meet separately.
That may be true,
Only-
but
only
it's
when it-
being used in a heavy-handed, tyrannical fashion so that we never get answers.
Excuse me, Lydia, but
Yeah, there's
it's only-
minutes that
and
should
excuse
be
me,
put on the bulletin
excuse me,
board,
wait,
and the accountability is shared with the shareholders or the people at public large. The federal government can tax
Okay.
and scrutinize. As our
But-
two
What's
sets of
policy?
books,
As a point
we
of
should
law-
have privy to all the information the board
Paula,
has.
talk.
Okay,
Go ahead.
just as a point of law, the reason that that has to exist is in the case of staff, when there may be reprimanding staff or something, that is something that should be internal. Other than that, there should be transparency.
Right.
Otherwise, you're opening the door for a lot of plotting and, you know,
Dishonest behavior.
Which is what they're
racketeering,
doing.
racketeering.
That's what
Yeah.
they're doing.
So
And-
yes,
They
it-
sold
the-
us out.
And because,
Yeah.
Sold
and
out Channel 34, 57 to Time Warner. No one was fighting for our rights to maintain the lower channel.
and unfortunately,
Well,
What?
You also have to acknowledge that channel 1 to 100.
wait. Gloria, let Gloria finish, and then you could go. Okay.
The thing that you are not acknowledging is that channel 1 to 100
Yeah.
is analog.
Okay.
And it is going away anyway. Everything will be HD, and when MNN goes HD, it will join the rest of the world in the higher channels. So you're really beating a dead horse because it has nothing to do with public access. It has to do with the cable companies. And they are taking those channels. I don't know what they plan to do.
They're taking it from us, the public.
They're taking 100 channels, not channel 34. They're taking 100 channels. And if you listen to any of them right now, the only thing on there are ads. They are using them for advertising. That's it.
Okay, wait. Dean's going to talk, and then I'm sorry, your name?
I don't want to say anything.
Okay, you don't have to. Then you can say something. Dean, talk.
Okay, I got a memo that said that Dan Kaufman was sent to Texas to negotiate the franchise for MNN, and Donida went to D.C. to negotiate the franchise for us.
But they're not supposed to be doing that. It's the Manhattan Borough President's Office that's supposed to be, that has the power of this franchise. So where did you get these?
I'm saying that's what the memo said.
Where'd you get this memo from?
And so they went, and they didn't disclose to us that they were going there to negotiate our rights.
Okay, they don't have the right to do that, so that's a big issue. Did you want to say something? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that those lower channels are being developed into white space, along with the cable channels, and the FCC are negotiating to make this, to use those channels for other things.
Like what other things?
Well, there's going to be gaming and all kinds of things that they want to use these middle channels for, because a lot of these companies are going into those kinds of businesses. So there's this whole negotiation on the lower, on certain channels between certain spaces, like 37 to, I don't know what the actual number is, but I looked into it last year. And so there's a major, there's all these new technologies that are coming out that they want to kind of like designate some of that space to.
So they never bothered telling us, because our representative, whose job...
I mean, the cable channels are doing this along with
their... Tell us, though.
But we have a representative
Let
on
me
the board.
finish. I hear you. I'm listening to everybody, so I just want to say this little thing, okay?
No, that's very significant. That's
okay, I just want to finish.
Okay, got it.
All right, so calm down. There are communications associations that have all of this information, and there's also engineers and other technologists that are looking into this, that are examining what the cable companies are doing with this space that used to be designated for other things, including low-powered stations. They're going away as well. So everything's shifting right now. So for you to understand what's going on, there's got to be research on the part of the people in this room, so that you're keeping up with exactly what's going on and not just saying it's Time Warner or whatever.
No, that's very good. Low-powered TV?
Yes. Going away.
TV.
Going away.
Where is low-powered TV?
Low-powered TV is where it's kind of an antenna that just covers a small area. It's almost like AM radio, and it's really kind of like they're eliminating those. It was a program that began last year through the FCC that was pressured by the cable companies to do this. So that's what's going on. So it's really for determining the rights of producers here who, and Gloria and I have discussed this, are volunteers. As volunteers, you have power because there are certain laws and codes of conduct for volunteers that work for a corporation or a nonprofit. And those rules should not be violated. So it's really important that this group look into what those rules are, and they're very easy to find because a lot of the networks have had to deal with this with interns. So if you think of yourself as a volunteer, then you know that there's some protections that you have. And I don't think anyone knows the power because they keep calling people producers here.
Well,
we're volunteers. We're not producers.
We're not volunteers. We are producers.
You are producers, but you are volunteering. You're not getting paid.
Right. Okay.
Right. All right. Okay. So there are certain rules and laws under the state government that protect you.
Okay.
So it's important to figure out what those things are so that when you're going to meet with these people, you're bringing them something that they can use.
But it's the job of the Manhattan Borough President to have her 2 seats filled on the board, and she's supposed to be talking to us.
That's a whole other issue.
No, that's her job.
I know it's her job. I'm saying that's a different issue from what I am saying to you.
I know. We're not supposed to be going out and hunting the
Yes, you are.
Oh, no. Our representative on the board is supposed to be hunting.
Can you email us those?
Yeah, there are. If you do the research, I have to be a researcher, but I don't have time to do your research. So what I would do is just say volunteer rights in corporations, New York State. on Google and figure out what those rules are so that you are protected under the state code. You know, so that when you talk to this lady, when you talk to her, you can actually cite where your protections exist. Because you don't want to go in with all of this like Michigas kind of like everything throwing at her at once. You want to have a bullet pointed list of issues that are top of the line, legal, ethical, state code. You want to have that laid on the table.
I disagree. I think we should have a meeting with our representative and say this was your job.
What have you been doing to respond to that?
Just a second. I don't think that the borough president is operating under state law.
Hey, listen, that last lady who spoke is a really good writer, so you better listen. What she says is right on point.
I have another point about this idea of corporation. If Time Warner is supposed to give the air, or the public gives it to the...
Time Warner doesn't give you anything.
No, but Time Warner is
is...
supposed to give the air rights to the public, or the public owns
No,
the air
they're
rights.
not.
They don't?
giving
No,
it to
it's
the
cable.
community
Wait,
access to operate.
Wait, what? Cable?
Cable does not fall under the same regulations as broadcast television used to. It's totally different.
So they're not even...
They shifted everything.
They
and
don't
they
have
did
to
it
give us the right.
They did a long time ago.
So
So that's
how-
why I'm saying that you have to like delineate what you're going to talk to this person about. It has to do with legal, state codes, local if you want to do local. Find out what the local codes are, because it really goes up the ladder to the federal government. But the federal government has very little to do because, you know what they did. They took the people that worked for these companies and put them in charge of the FCC. So now you've got to go local. This is where the separation of state and federal is very important, and you can use that in your favor.
But so that's why a corporation can then run this, because it's all privatized, because
Cable's
has nothing to
privatized.
do with the public. We're
Right.
not public servants in that way.
I'd like to
Public.
volunteer some.
We are because of the franchise.
What is the franchise?
Well, you have, again, if you look at the regulations for working with volunteers, then you have some juice. You have something you can work with, because corporations have to adhere to that under state code.
They do.
They do, yeah.
That's our in.
That's your in. That's one of your ins. There's others.
Go ahead, Frank.
Permission to speak. Frank Craig, Once Alien Hill in America. I've been volunteering for 15 years every week doing my show, working diligently, no pay, and that's okay. When we saw Katrina of disaster happen in New Orleans, it was the public radio and public communities that got the information out for the disaster. And I think we have a tremendous service for public access TV. I'm very distressed to hear that the local small program is disappearing. And the federal government, like Welcome to the Fourth Reich, they want to create something that's just a militarized nation. And I think our fight is also we should join with WBAI and Pacifica, and we should have a community radio that's sponsored and a community television that's sponsored.
Involved with WBAI.
Well, I'm just saying that we need to have community radio that's free, and there's no problem, there's no worry about having rent-free community radio that
I
helps
want to hear what he has to say.
community television that helps and addresses the public. And we should go to Mayor de Blasio or whoever in charge and say, help, just like in Ferguson, in Missouri, they're on the street screaming, help, we want justice, and it repeats itself. Amadou Diallo, Sean Bell, Michael Brown, everyone gets shot, and police get off. When we gotta say help.
Let Gloria talk.
WBAI is operated by the same people who operate MNN.
The problem with WBAI, with all due respect...
Interrupted him to say that? I mean, come on. I didn't even finish. Did you
I
arc to
just
what...
put my point out there as a point of discussion that when we go to Mayor de Blasio, whoever is in charge, we on behalf of the community say, help, we need to communicate, we need to be able to have, in case of an emergency, for freedom and justice for all, for the spirit of America, spirit of the world, and from the Arab Spring and Occupy Wall Street and everyone, it's about transparency, accountability, communication in the face of disaster. And we saw in Katrina and Sandy Storm and whatever that's coming, natural disasters and possibly man-made disasters, we need to have community communication as a sacred cow in whatever administration's in charge, because we are doing something in a patriotic, spiritual way to create community for the highest good of all, and a service to God or Creator or whatever you want, just to appease our own conscience and try to get the truth out, versus the constant commercial bamboozle, smoke and mirrors, lies that are perpetrated by a commercial society.
Wait, everybody stop. Can we have a time check, because we're going to be kicked out of here promptly at 1.
12:19.
Okay, so we got about 20 minutes left, and the goal of this meeting was, okay, we aired some grievances, but we need effective action steps. Because otherwise we're going to...
wants to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I think what this lady was mentioning to us is very important.
Yes, it is.
This is what I do for a living.
Yes, absolutely makes a lot of sense.
You have to have a communication, you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan to communicate what you're doing. That plan has to start, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dean, but it has to start in this room. So when you're talking and you're stepping on somebody trying to make a point, that's bad, okay? Because communication starts amongst you guys first. Once you have that rule of this is how we're going to communicate, we're going to embellish each other, we're going to make each other feel good about what we're doing here, we're going to say positive words when we're in this building. Once you do that, then you can start coming up with, all right, we're all on the same page now, this is how we're going to push out to these people that you're talking about. And I don't care if they're not doing their job. You have to go to them anyway because they have a job. They have the job to address what you want. So you need to get in there and make them do it. But you have to do it strategically. And that doesn't mean yelling at them.
Do you know, I don't believe that is their job. I believe the job of the borough president is not to show up to the meeting. Because I believe...
Wait.
Listen, let me
just hang on for a second.
Please let me finish. This is so important because I can see that you have done the research, you do understand the codes and so on. But if you don't know which... Dean, please, let me have a chance.
Shut up.
I have a soft voice, and this is an important point.
I'm moving the phone so you can hear her.
Okay, I don't believe that the borough presidency is where we want to go. I believe it's the Department of Transportation. We have to know which jurisdiction we're in to know which rules we're operating by. Otherwise, we're two people coming in, two parties speaking two completely different languages, and that's why we fight
Why
here.
transportation?
That's because don't you remember years ago when Amy Goodman spoke at that big public hearing? Mm-hmm. Those commissioners were commissioners from the Department of Transportation. The borough presidency.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Well, we were at the hearing, and I'm digging around. I found my old elevator repairman saying that our elevator was good, so I was able to
Why did she go there? I don't understand.
Why did what?
Department of Transportation. Why?
The commissioners of the department. No, not yet, Dean.
Not yet, Dean. Hold on.
Hang on. Don't
shut up.
Okay, wait. That's not the civility we're encouraging.
Okay, now.
Dean, hang on. I'm gonna let you close. Okay,
this is such a subtle point. I'm saying at this big meeting, this big public hearing that was so important that even Amy Goodman came to speak. Otherwise, we producers never see these kinds of celebrities. You see, because we don't know our ratings. But the commissioners were all from the Department of Transportation. It was the Department of Transportation that the negotiations were going on with for years before we finally got something that still none of us have ever seen.
So there's some skullduggery. We're being kept in the...
So we're wasting our time with the borough presidency. We're wasting our time with Scott Stringer. We have to define what is even meant by New York City. By federal regulations, New York City means the United Nations. So now you have to go shift yourself over and find out what those rules are. Due process will bring us all back to our rights and also all back to the various job descriptions of whoever, whether they're doing their job or not. We have to know what the job description is. So you're totally right. We should go informed, but we have to know with what information and with what office we're going with this information.
Okay, I agree with you, and I think that we have to identify the correct jurisdiction. And I cannot see where the Department of Transportation has anything to do with this.
I don't know.
Right of passage, free passage.
Something?
Okay, what's the Department?
The Department of Transportation was the one who handled the original franchise.
Because they had to dig up the roads.
The Department of Transportation is where we got the franchise.
Okay, let's let Dean.
When we had to get the franchise, we had to go to the Department of Transportation.
Can you mute him or something?
Yeah, okay.
Just
He's
mute
on
him.
speaker. No, he's saying something.
But Gloria was saying that.
No, but he cuts and everybody that talks.
Gloria was saying.
Ask who is leasing the third floor and what happened to the air lights of our building.
Okay, but what was Gloria saying about the Department of Transportation? Because
they were the original ones. They handled the first franchise. We had to get the franchise. I got the franchise agreement directly from the Department of Franchise.
Because it's Dean and Gloria's
Transportation. When I researched it like 20 years ago, that's where I had to
Because
go.
they were digging up the roads to lay the cables.
But is it
So
under
now
their
the action
current?
plan.
We don't know.
Let's go to the action plan.
Let's do the action
plan.
Wait,
Okay.
wait, there's just one minor thing I just wanted to say. It's important not to call anybody names.
You just did that.
Well, all right. I'm just saying.
Okay, so
it's
we're,
important.
okay, action plan 1, we're now going to establish civility, even though we're operating under time pressure. So we're all going to agree. Okay,
That's okay.
so no matter what happens, we're ladies and gentlemen. Action plan 2, somebody is going to call our representative, Vanessa, and demand a meeting.
Who's going to do that?
I will do that.
Okay, good.
Item 3, we cannot leave out the Manhattan Borough President, so someone's got to call Gale Brewer's office.
I'll call her office.
Good, so you'll do
And I
that.
want to create a meeting for any producer to come down there and meet her face to face.
Okay, you set up, I have the contact information, you set up.
I'll call and see if I can get to her, yes. I
No
will.
problem. Okay,
Yes.
item, who's going to research the volunteer laws and codes so that we
I'm not
have?
going to do that because you guys need to do that. 'Cause
Okay,
you need to
who-
get it in your heart what it is.
Okay, so who wants to research? We're all going to do it?
Well, everybody should do that because you need to get in your heart
But
your
we need a
role.
point- we need a, okay, you know something, Pamela? You're going to be our point person. You're going to research the codes for volunteers, and when you find stuff, you're going to share it.
Wait, if we all do that, where do we start to look for that?
Just go on Google.
Yes.
Hold on, go on Google and then put in the word volunteer.
Just one second.
Rights and New York State corporation. Just put words in and then get familiar with what your role really is here, because my complaint is there's a lot of abuse going on. You know, and that's one thing that I think, because there's a separation, there's two cultures going on, and that needs to stop. You
Exactly.
know, and I talked to them about that.
And I'm
Wait,
asking
Dean wanted to make a comment, so we've abused him enough.
New
Go ahead,
York
Dean.
City.
Dean, go.
Hello, everybody. I just pulled up the franchise agreement for New York, and it's for Time Warner Cable and the City of New York. And the City of New York is represented by Paul Weiss, Rifkin, and Wharton. And if you make if you contact the city, the department handling it is the Department of Information and Technology and Telecommunications at 75 Park Place. It's the commissioner, and it's with a copy to the New York City Law Department. Attention, the Chief Economic Development Division.
Great.
So that is why the DOT is there, because they are the undersigners for the city.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Dean.
But can I just ask you, what's
Wait,
your,
let me say,
what's your
DOE is also
role?
the
What's your
Department of
job?
Education, so let's
I'm a volunteer, yeah. Can I also say that in terms of logistical organization, that everybody kind of get a copy, like maybe there'd be a listserv where, you know, Dean's information, anybody who's come up with Department of Transportation or even the volunteer role in corporations, just have everybody kind of like get a copy of that in an email.
Okay, so Dean, that's your job. Is that okay with you?
Just develop a listserv for everybody that's in the room.
Your job is the information you just gave us about this franchise that you just pulled up, to put it succinctly in a paragraph, very succinctly, with names, addresses, and phone numbers, and send it off to everybody.
I didn't say that.
But no, we want that information.
I didn't say that, Dean. What I said was that everybody who's researching something in this room has to add it to the listserv. So yours goes in there. Everything that everyone's doing should go in that, so everybody's on the same page.
Okay,
So everybody has a complete package.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got Pamela working on one thing, I'm working on one thing, Alan's working on another thing, Dean, you're putting that information together.
Does
So we
Dean
need,
have everybody's email addresses?
yeah, well, we're gonna do that, everybody has to give me your email addresses, and then we'll have, since we're all working on different parts, keep it short, keep it succinct, and then we'll have one master list that will go out to everybody. Okay, time check.
I just want to ask you, when you talked about the abuse to the staff, what was their response to you?
They said they were working on it.
They were working how?
No, just write it in the.
I mean,
Well, there's 2 meetings going on, so.
Oh, wait. How were they?
And your
How
phone.
did they say they were working on?
They said that they had given instructions to the staff to be more respectful and to ask whether people needed help. This was about a month ago, because
Okay.
I have been suffering a lot of abuses.
And well, no one ever came to us and asked us that. I mean, they may.
Nobody
have.
ever says, do you need help?
No one's ever
No one
said.
ever says, do you need some help with
Yeah.
something you're working on? They do?
No.
They
No,
have to me.
they haven't to me.
Well, we
And I
haven't
see
been
it
here
was
for a month.
Oh, okay.
They haven't
That
to me.
may be because of the meeting we had at the
I
Manhattan
think
Borough.
they said that that was the reason.
Yeah,
But
okay.
good job.
I have some good news for you. WBAI has a program director, Mario Marilla, a famous academician, author, and tremendous radio experience. And it's going to be revolutionized.
Okay.
And then, of course, the transmitter
Name, address,
is
phone
being
number.
moved to 42nd Street,
print nicely.
which is much cheaper.
Thank you.
Can I say
Thank
one
you
last
for-
thing?
Thank
That's
you.
very,
Split up.
so if you contact Mario, any of the material, any of the new ideas you have, he'll be more than receptive. I know him for years. He's written books about Colombia and Latin America, brilliant academician and broadcaster, and he's the new program director.
Okay, time
Okay.
check, time
Time
check.
check.
What time is it?
My last thing
Yeah.
is logistics. So we're all putting this research together. I'm helping if you need asking questions anytime. But we have to have some kind of timeline so that we're following along like the call, like the meeting we would like to have on this particular day, and then just making sure that there's a pinnacle that we're reaching towards a goal.
Okay, so how about if we meet again in a month? How's
In a
that?
month, but then meet to do what? To discuss what the meeting was?
No, we should have a meeting with our representative and with the Manhattan Borough President.
In a
Meet
month.
our goals.
Okay,
So
in a
how-
month.
In a month.
In
Okay.
a month.
Okay.
And now here's the thing, if the
Let's all
Manhattan
meet
Borough
then.
President's Office doesn't respond to us, if our representative doesn't respond to us, then we need to get all together and we need to push back, which would involve, and I've already talked to producers, they are willing to send letters, emails, make phone calls, they're willing to do a united, we're all together.
Well, we need to have a
Okay,
union.
but, so if she doesn't do it, you said, the letters. But you have to have a meeting with somebody else. So you want to set up like a tree of meetings. Like if this one doesn't, and this one doesn't, if
Yeah,
they all don't, then then you have to have a plan for that.
Yes,
So
yes.
so someone should be trying to, the Department of Transportation or the other people that you've mentioned, somebody should be setting up meetings with all of those so that it gets the ball rolling.
We've been working on that for the last 6 months, we've been following up, we've been pushing, we're not stupid.
Okay,
we
I'm
know.
not saying you're stupid.
Okay.
That's just ridiculous.
No, no.
No.
It's ridiculous. You guys are really smart.
The fact that we even got this meeting together and got this response
I don't
is
want to
huge.
hear that right
Okay.
now, because
Okay.
I have to go.
Okay.
Why
So-
can't
so
we
you're
form a
telling me what I need.
union?
A lot of times these meetings are people telling people what they already know. Don't do that. You're too smart for that.
Let her finish.
Go ahead.
Please, okay.
All right, I just want to say that this whole logistical thing is very important. So I don't care what you did before. This is like going forward from this meeting.
Okay,
Because
fine.
I know you've been working on this. I've heard all about it.
Okay.
Okay, so now I know you don't. We'll meet. We'll talk. But each time you have to have a Google Calendar where these meetings and these pursuits for these meetings are set up so everybody can see them. So that one will happen. When that one happens, you decide what to do. Do you put it in a press release? Do you meet with this guy in the back that runs this place or somebody else? Do you funnel it out through the staff? You've got to figure out what are your strategies for getting out the information. And again, these are clear points, not just rambling and angry and
Right.
Strategic communications is two types of people they go after to control. One are the emotionals. And those are the people who get just loud and upset, and they love loud colors, and everything moves them until the rug is pulled out from under them. The other one is the people, the intellectuals. And then they give them phony data and bullet points and things. You've got to be in the middle. You have to be strategic and you have to be objective. Whatever they've done to you, when you're doing this work, you got to let that go. And you've just got to focus on getting this plan together, because that will work. It works every time, and I can give you great examples outside of this room.
Okay, so that's good.
Okay, I'm shutting
I
up.
suggested, since
You were excellent, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Since we're going to the borough president's office, we use Jessica Mates as the point person and ask her if we can have our next meeting at City Hall, whereby you can invite the Department of Transportation and all of the big wigs, because I think they would be more conducive to coming to City Hall.
We asked for an open town hall meeting. I think that should be one of our goals.
Yes.
An open town hall meeting. Let's go for that.
Let
her finish, though. We know you like certain things, but it sounds like you're just like all about you. I want to hear what the other people have.
I wouldn't start out with a town hall meeting, because that's too big, it's too public. You want to resolve issues. The issues are with DOT, with the borough president. Meet at City Hall, at the borough president's office, and invite DOT. They would be more likely to come there.
Well, here's what we got. Here's what happened. But here's what happened. We had the meeting. They blew us. They were supposed to send a letter. They blew us off.
It's a different meeting.
You got to find out why that happened. Because if you're talking in that room the way you are in this room, they're not going to pay attention.
Go ahead.
I spoke to Halleck. She spoke to Gale Brewer. Gale Brewer is very, very upset at us.
Why?
Somebody sent that letter to Dan.
What letter?
What letter?
The letter that the rough draft.
The rough draft was useless.
It was sent to Dan by one of us.
What did the letter say? I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever
Gale
it was.
Brewer's office was working on drafting a letter. We were supposed to see the draft, so we were all on the same page and tweak it. They so we were all in agreement. They sent us a letter.
What letter?
There was a letter that was sent a couple
Nobody
weeks ago.
sent me a letter that said confidential. So Gloria, are you saying I sent a letter to Dan? I certainly do send letters to Dan.
You sent
if the letter said confidential,
hold
on.
on.
No letter said confidential.
What did the letter say?
I was weak.
What did the letter say?
I looked at you. I'm saying what Dee Halleck told me.
What did it say?
Dee Halleck just said we had a meeting with producers.
Lydia, this is really critical.
Go ahead.
This is really critical because Dee Halleck is not here, and I don't know if Dee Halleck is on the line. But I know that Dee Halleck was the one that told us about that meeting up at the firehouse where Dee had to sit out on the sidewalk and we went in. Dee called me up a week ago, and she told me what had come down, and in her voice and in the innuendo, she insinuated that the borough presidency totally fell down on the job. She didn't say somebody sent a letter to Dan Coughlin.
Well, this is what she told me.
Because the letter was so wimpy. It was so weak. It was so not including anything. And then the response was that within one day it would be cleaned up based on the points that I put forward, with the caveat that the borough's presidency had certain limitations. Okay, that's understandable. So we were waiting for that next letter, and it never came.
I know all of that.
So what difference does Dan Coughlin say?
I am just telling you what Dee told me. She stated, and again, quote, that Gale Brewer was very upset with us because somebody had sent the letter. I'm not saying who sent, because I don't know. I can't say who sent it. That someone had sent.
It was probably me, because nobody responds and nobody does anything. They get letters and they sit on them. Like that, I responded.
Gale Brewer is upset about it.
But
according to Dee.
What's the point? The point is that a letter left the group and veered off into management that's connected to the people that we're petitioning to, right? That's the point?
It was a rough draft.
It doesn't matter what it was. Right. It left the circle.
So I am told.
So the code of engagement here is do not allow anything. It should be stated and agreed to right in this room. Do not send anything out without the agreement of the group.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was an accident and it happened and it's over.
And say it at the top. But you know, I don't believe I may not have done. I just hit reply all. Anything that's sent to me with a bunch of people, I hit reply.
Okay, so we will apologize and it's over. Let's go.
But you know why she's upset?
No,
I think
I don't know, because I don't know what the letter said. Why is she upset at us?
Because it was a draft that they didn't want.
About what? What's
about our issues. Nothing is
about the meeting that we had with Gale Brewer. About the meeting that we had with Gale Brewer, we made points of argument that of our grievances.
Okay.
She was going to draft a letter
In 1 week,
with our grievances.
within the week.
No, she didn't say a week when we gave her time, so don't, go ahead. Joe,
She
finish.
did say 2 weeks.
She did
Within
say
2
that.
weeks. No, she said
We didn't
2
put
weeks.
any
Time
deadline.
is not
it doesn't
important.
matter.
What was the main
So what was
issue?
the-
Okay, so go ahead.
That she was going to draft a letter to,
Dan Kaufman.
that she was going to send to Dan Kaufman, but we had agreed that she would send it to us first,
Okay.
and we could add our input.
Okay.
All the producers that were at the meeting
Uh-huh.
could say, well, you left out this point, or you left out that point,
Right.
right? And she drafted a week letter. We sent input, and I think you sent some input in.
Oh, so she
Maybe-
drafted a letter, it was just a draft that was sent to Dan.
But it was
That's why
so
she's
weak
mad.
that I
2
don't
months
see.
later, 2 months later too. And
But-
meanwhile, the Comcast Time Warner merger is happening. The window of opportunities lost. You got transferred onto a digital sub-channel.
Well,
You
that's
lost all
separate.
your
That's
traffic.
separate. That's separate.
But the
Well-
sense of urgency wasn't there. Okay, fine. But the letter was so weak that for Dan to get upset is ridiculous.
No,
So
for
what-
Gale
hold
to
on.
get upset.
I mean, for Gail to get upset.
Well, this is what Dee Dee said. I don't know what extent it means, but just so you know that Gail
And it's
is
not like
upset
we
with
do
us.
everything in an
We don't
above
have to
board,
defend
open
ourselves.
fashion. There's no,
So
Dan
Gloria's
Kaufman knows.
making a good
We
point.
don't have to defend ourselves. What we have to do is correct it. That's all.
Okay, so we got the correction right here.
Yeah, you have to have a code, you have to have codes of ethics for the group.
Yeah.
Not codes of ethics, codes of engagement. And so one thing is, if you are in the underground, in the European underground during World War II, you don't go tell the Nazis what you're doing. You don't do that.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about, right? Isn't that what you tell me all the time? We're dealing with a monolith global kind of thing that's going on, that's pushing things in a certain direction. Are you going to send a letter out to that group so they know what you're thinking? They're not supposed to know what you're thinking until it's complete. Then they can know what you're thinking. And then everyone agrees, okay, we send it out now.
But you know, I don't have confidence in the borough presidency's office. Do
Okay.
you?
I don't know, because you know what? I don't know. I think it's immaterial to what I'm saying.
But we
I
don't
understand,
know.
you have a lot of insights that I don't have, and I'm not going to address that right now because we're trying to figure out how to move things forward in a successful way that corrects the mission of this place, right? That's what I'm hearing.
Right, right.
I'm not that familiar with all the
Well,
ins and outs, because you guys have been here, I've only just gotten
No,
here.
but I like what you're saying. I like what Gloria's saying.
But I
If
can't
we-
tell you about my opinion about the
Well,
borough
okay,
president.
okay.
Okay.
But as long as we work in a legislative manner,
Right.
Yeah.
as she suggested,
Right, but-
then we can back
Yeah,
up all of our feelings.
It doesn't matter what
Yeah.
happened
It's
before.
It's
But I wanna
irrelevant
get
as to
back-
whether or not we have
but I wanna-
confidence in the
Yes,
office.
yes, I got
We
it.
have to be legislative.
I got it.
Period.
But deedeehalleck is really important. She's like the grand dame.
She'll get over it.
accent.
She will get over it.
No. And I'm not seeking her blessings either. I'm just saying it is a fact.
Yeah.
She was in public access decades before MNN was even, I say, a twinkle in
Okay.
some criminal's
What's the
eyes.
point, though? Right.
The point is, if deedeehalleck feels that Gale Brewer was important, why does deedeehalleck feel this? I care more about what deedeehalleck feels.
It's all
than
about
Gale
the
Brewer.
structure of what you're creating and not what you were speculating on what the other side's thinking.
Right.
It's the structure of what you are creating that's important. You cannot speculate. You can, but you can't drop it on the group because the group's doing one thing. They're doing things in a uniform, what do you call it?
Well,
Catapult?
Let's
like
put it
with
this
the,
way. This group
legs.
is meeting, this group is missing deedeehalleck's input. That's my point.
Well, she'll be involved
She was
later.
here, we invited her. She
Why
can come,
is
she can
She
come.
was out of town.
Okay, so,
She was
so
out of
we'll
town.
have another
Well,
meeting, get her up to speed.
you said earlier we're smart, right? You guys are smart. I mean, look what you've done all these years. It's very impressive that you hung in there with this kind of situation. You're like producing things that people need to know. You don't need this one person to tell you what to do. You need to just move the plan forward, and when she's ready to come in, she'll come in. When the other people are ready to come in, when the state's willing to respond, and all this other, it's going to happen when
No,
it
I think
happens.
you misunderstand what I mean, but that's all right.
It doesn't matter.
The reason why deedeehalleck
Talk
thought
later,
the
we'll talk
Manhattan
later.
Borough President's Office should be included was because by contract, the Manhattan Borough President's Office has 2 seats on the board. They never filled those seats. They apologized to us. They want to fill those seats. So the way that the only power the Manhattan Borough President's Office has is this franchise. They have the power to renegotiate this franchise. Gale Brewer can throw her weight around and say, hey, all these contracts are null and void, the producers never had input, and we're going to renegotiate all of this. She doesn't want to do that because that'll be a nightmare. But she needs to be involved because the Manhattan Borough President's Office has 2 seats on the board. So that's why Deedeehalleck, in an appropriate fashion, reached out to her, and Gale Brewer should get.
I just want to correct, because I was at the meeting that day, and so were you. She didn't apologize. She said that they fell down on the job.
Well, they did, but you know, it's not bashing people. This is where we are. Fill the seats. Let's go
She
forward.
fell down on the job. Let her do something about it now.
She's only been in office for a year.
Is she doing something about
Right,
it? No.
so then
Well, we're asking
but then to
Not
say
even
that
a
she's
year.
disappointed because somebody got a letter,
Right.
it seems so flimsy, and for Dee Dee to have passed that on, I'm wondering
Well,
why.
let's forget
That's
about
all freedom of
it. Let's
expression.
forget about it.
petty.
That's petty.
It's not petty.
We just have to fix it, that's all.
It was ignorant. Let's
well,
not make
It was
more
just a way to
expression for
poo-poo,
everybody.
minimize, play us off against each other, bully us,
Yes.
do the so, you know, we're a bunch
Okay.
of coffee clutching
Then-
housewives.
Then
you know,
that's
kind of-
that's the
way.
message I want to send, because I do respect what Dee Dee's saying. Dee Dee
Right,
was
so we
really,
can fix
Dee Dee
it,
was
that's
really
all.
thinking that the borough presidency could help. It didn't. So in order to move on, like you're saying,
Okay.
I think
Phone
we
number?
may have to move on elsewhere, that's all. That's all.
What's next on the?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay,
I hope
so
I'm
we
wrong.
got the action plan. We're light years ahead of the game. Everybody's okay. We got a deadline in a month. We're gonna have another meeting.
When's the
Let's
next
all of us
connection?
have another
The next
meeting here.
action step is
The next connection with the group, when's that?
as soon as we get a meeting with,
Well, that might
Before
not
that,
happen. Let's
before
do
that.
another meeting somewhere in a
Set a
month.
meeting.
okay, a meeting in a month. And we're a union now?
No, wait.
What about having a
Yeah,
meeting at
2 weeks.
DOT?
Well, we don't even
Yeah.
have, somebody has
What
to
is
do that. Do you
DLT?
want to
What
set
is
up the
it?
meeting?
Department of
Do
Transportation,
you want to
Okay.
set up that
Can you
meeting?
try and set that up?
can you know?
Excuse me,
What?
I am not.
What?
I'm talking about a planning meeting, by the way.
DOT happens to live in my building.
Oh, great.
She was very cooperative in getting the franchise agreement. And as soon as they found out, she doesn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. She will not talk to us now because she was instructed they were not supposed to cooperate with us. So you know you're going to have the same thing with DOT.
I was talking about a planning meeting with this group.
Yeah, we need
That's
to
why
have a
we don't
meeting
use
in a month
lawyers.
from now, see where we're at.
Yes.
In a month.
Yeah.
Okay,
A month is a long time away.
Okay, then.
How about every 2 weeks?
No, I think 2 weeks
Every
is,
2 weeks.
3 weeks?
No,
But I don't want to
3
do
weeks.
Saturday
The
morning.
clock is ticking, Lydia.
they can't do anything. It doesn't matter. What they did is wrong. It's void.
What did they do?
I think that you guys need to be more cohesive, and I think
Yeah.
the way that can happen is if you have a meeting in 2 weeks.
Yes.
That way you put
Okay.
on the table
Every
what
2
everything, it's really like what happened since the last meeting, how have we progressed, and that's all it is. And
Okay,
then you,
so here's what we'll do. We'll have a meeting every 2 weeks. It's half an hour. What happened? What are we doing next? Okay?
An hour.
Okay, an hour. And you need to be on time, not
But I
like.
can't do it Saturday morning. It's not,
Okay.
we'll do it during the week at night.
Okay, during the week at night for an hour, and it's what happened and what are we doing next?
can you
What
book this
time?
room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
What time,
not?
Alan, what works for you, because you've been the
No,
most
like
years.
Wednesday night or Thursday
Okay,
night.
fine.
A
Something.
lot of producers have shows and will not be able to.
Not a lot. 4 producers. Not that many.
No, there's
a lot of
6.
Do
producers
I have
aren't
everybody's
here.
phone number and
But they're not here
email?
anyway.
No, I have community board meetings Tuesday, Wednesday, and
Well, what's good for
Thursday.
you?
So good.
Saturday morning.
Thank you. What's your name?
Really need your input, Joe.
What about
Also,
Monday night?
I am
Yeah, well,
gonna
you know, it's hard. I've done this a lot.
right now.
What time is
Yeah, we got you, Dean, don't
My
worry.
meetings
We
go
got
from
you.
6 to 9, every second week of the month.
We're gonna be out of here in 10 minutes.
Really, what do you
If-
do?
All right, let's go on to the meeting.
All right, two weeks from now, when's good? When are we doing?
I'm just saying, when
day?
Saturday, I hate Saturdays, but
But
that's.
that's
Okay, Saturday, 11 o'clock here, 2 weeks
Can
up.
we do it later than 11 o'clock?
Okay, we can do it later. What
At
time?
2 o'clock?
2 o'clock? That's bad?
2 o'clock on Saturday?
2 o'clock,
No,
bad?
Not good for you?
For me, but if I'm gonna do something on Saturday, it has to be early,
Okay, so what time would you prefer?
10, 11.
Do 10.
All right,
Well, how about 12?
12?
12, Noel?
12?
The thing is, we need Alan because
No, we
he's.
don't need me.
Well, you do.
I'm gonna
At
try to
1
reach
o'clock, if we can have this room after 1, I really want to give a presentation
Oh, by the way,
on IP address discrimination. It's intellectual, but it's important.
But this is,
And it's
this is for
copyright.
producers. This
After the meeting.
After the meeting.
Because
I
Alan-
don't think we can get this room after 1. I think the only time we can get this room is 11.
We need a history.
Okay, 2 weeks,
of
11
bannings
o'clock.
And suspensions.
Here,
A
Saturday.
history,
Like
2 weeks.
right.
I'm not usually here Saturday, but I
We
can
need
call.
a history of.
Okay,
You'll
do you
that.
do I have your phone number?
I'll write it down.
Well,
I'll give you a card.
What
I'm
day
gonna
is
give
good
you
for
the-
you back there?
Sorry?
What day is good for you to meet?
I have a house in Pennsylvania, and I like to go visit it every now and then.
Yeah.
So
So is
I'll
it
give you
day
we
during the
have free
week?
HD conference call. You can conference call
I'll
me.
be calling.
But we're gonna have to be ladies and gentlemen so that we don't not screaming all over.
Well, I mean, listen, don't do Saturday just for me. If
No, we want you here. That's
No,
your-
but Saturday's not good for a lot of
Maybe
people.
now.
I think during the week
I
is
just happen to
better.
be here this week.
Well, you're not gonna-
Like I've been.
meant to be.
Yeah, but they're not here anyway.
My husband didn't want me.
Well, I can call in.
MNN forever.
You want to call in? Would that be better?
No, if I have.
I'd rather have you
something-
here because you're better.
I'd rather be here
Travis,
too,
did I
but
answer?
Saturday's
Okay,
not
listen,
good.
how-
I'd like to go out of New York
Dash
on the
them here.
weekend.
Okay, good. How about this? How about if like we alternate, like so the next meeting won't be on a Saturday? Is that good? Would that work for everybody?
Yeah.
So, all right, so we'll do
It'd
it.
be like Thursday?
Yeah.
All right, like
the
the-
middle of the week?
Yes, the
Okay.
middle of the week is good for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
not
I can't do
Friday.
And then
Thursdays
we'll-
and Fridays.
So we'll do
We're gonna
Wednesday.
go around
Wednesday.
and
Wednesday.
it's gonna happen.
Wednesday.
At 11
Wednesday in the evening.
in the evening?
Yeah.
But then people who miss meetings can look at the notes and catch up on the meeting they missed, and that way we
Yeah.
can keep.
And you should be talking to people because one-on-one communication is the most powerful of all of everything that you can possibly do.
Okay, so
So the 10th?
well, I don't know. I have to book the conference room. I'll let you guys know. If I have your email address, I'll book
We
the
don't have
conference.
to meet here, right? Or should we?
Well, where
Well,
else are we gonna
hopefully
meet?
next time
I
You
think
can
it's
meet in
in this
my
place because
apartment
this is where
if
I'll
you
get
want.
it.
And then
Yeah,
next time we'll get the speakerphone to work,
If you
so we'll have
want,
a more
but you can
pleasant
look
experience
from
for
the
those calling in, like Dean. And I think Molly Cheshire is hovering around too. We need to hear from other producers who've had shows.
You're hovering.
Well, I'm saying, Dean, if you were on the speakerphone, it would be a more easy experience, but you're
Yes.
on Lydia's squeaky little cell
We
phone,
can't hear you.
and we can't hear you.
I understand, but you know what? I don't know where I'm going to be that Wednesday anyway, so don't worry about me.
I don't even know if the room's available. I'll
I'm not-
try to get it.
I'm not worried about you per se, I'm worried about anybody who calls in. If Alan Steinfeld's calling in, it should be an easy experience, and it could be if this phone was working, this phone that, you know.
Lydia, not all of us will be able to be at the meeting, no matter what day you do it.
Okay.
So select a day and stick to it, because you can't do it for individuals.
You guys could figure out the technology to get a decent speakerphone type.
It's not the technology. It's not the technology, Dean.
She has a dumb phone.
We asked the facilitators if we could put you on the hardline speakerphone, and they said no.
Why not?
Why? Because we're not allowed to use the
Because
phone
this-
in the conference
So
room.
work
Because this room is
Because
for
they said
staff.
no.
Because it's for staff.
They say no to everything.
You know, that's part of our problem.
Can't help you on that.
You know, so the fact that you're here at all and participating on my squeaky little phone. Okay, we're gonna have a meeting in 2 weeks, as soon as we figure out
When you can get.
when we can get it. We'll try to do nights midweek, okay?
Yes,
And
and then
then
we'll do Saturday.
We'll rotate some sort of thing. So, you know, if you miss one, then he'll miss one and it'll work out,
Is it okay if I just stay under the radar?
Yes,
Okay.
okay. So if you just give me your phone number, I'll tell you under the radar.
Yes, actually,
I don't
that's a
want to
very
know.
good point about under the radar. There's a lot of very important producers who fear to be in a meeting like
That's
this,
right.
and I do not blame them
Why?
for fearing that.
Why?
I can go
Retaliation.
into that later.
It's
Joe and I
retaliatory.
have done things in court. We have taken public access to the hilt, and for that reason, we fight as hard as we do, because we are fighting homelessness and we are fighting incarceration. If it wasn't for some transgender people up in Woodstock, we would probably be in jail. So we know that not everybody can do what we are doing. And so for those producers who could not be here, who fear to be here because of their shows, you know, we want to hear their voice too, somehow or another. So all of you who did show up, thank you.
By the way, was in jail because I told the truth, fighting a criminal appeal, am victimized. Okay, yeah.
I am going to make copies
Okay.
of this, and I'll try to give a copy to each of you.
Okay.
So there
You know
are
what you can do? You can
15.
scan it and send it to me.
Well, I'm going to try to give it to you right now. I'm going to get go
Okay.
downstairs and see if they can make
Okay.
a copy.
Let me give you the
okay?
free, there's a free conference call number, so you can call in. I'm gonna give it to you before we leave. Okay, so I think we did a great job. We're like years ahead.
Yes,
Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. It's good that we're very strong personalities. Dean, this is great. Do you have anything to say? Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, Dean.
His sister.
Okay, that's your job. We just assigned it to you. Okay, 2 weeks and we'll hear back. Bye.
Let me run down and see if I can get
Thank
copies.
Alan.
Okay?
Why do you want to remain?
Mine was hard.
Hey.
Noel.
Yeah.
And look at this, here we are at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and there is not a sign anymore that says Manhattan Neighborhood Network. So let's see what's going on. Lydia told me there's going to be some action here, because some people don't want this meeting to happen. Buzzing in.
How you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
It's the 23rd.
And it's 8:40 in conference room. Thanks.
Hey, I called
What's
the
going on?
police.
We'll figure this out outside.
No, no, no.
alright?
Can
Now
you
what's
take their
happening?
photographs and Corey's
Miss,
photograph?
outside.
You
Can
called the police? We're
I
here
called
for
the
a...
police. Because,
What's
can you
your
take
name,
the-
sir?
I got his
Miss,
badge number.
let's go.
Would you please
outside.
stop yelling at
You're not
me?
welcome in this building.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
What's going on
Outside
here?
now.
I'm here for
Why are
public
you
access.
screaming at me?
Outside now, because you're being removed right now. You understand what I'm
This
saying?
Why?
is a public
Because
facility.
you're no longer welcome in this building right now.
Why? I brought them
Because
He's a public
We-
access. She's a
listen,
public
we've explained
access
this before,
person.
and I said.
Other
okay,
people come here all the time.
I absolutely.
That's
Listen,
Corey Bryce, and why is he giving me a hard time? Do you have their
listen,
badge
you can-
numbers?
You can make
Well, we get 'em
whatever.
on here.
I mean, whatever.
Because he's
You're
a liar,
official.
and he claims that, and he's lied before.
But his badge is covered. That's
Ma'am,
suspicious.
now
Got
we're
your
forcibly
face.
removing you, okay?
Why? Because I mentioned the badge was covered? That was my fault, not hers.
Well, then I would walk out under your own power. Thank you very much.
Do you have that on tape? Do you have
Yeah,
that? And you
it
want to
was-
get the badge number in the car?
I tried to, but the thing is, it was
And you want the
covered up.
badge number of the car, and you want their names, the faces? Because what Corey did here is wrong. These are the documents that he asked for. He was refusing to accept them.
He asked for documents to prove your residence?
Yes, and I have.
Where are
them
they
for-
going?
I don't know.
So they're not arresting
Go up
you?
to the meeting.
They're not letting you in?
Correct. And tell them I've got the audio tape from Mr. Blanchard, from the attorney in Flint, and he says, I'm an insider, I'm a lawyer, and I watched public access be taken away. It will happen in Manhattan. It happened in Flint, and he gave me a 2-minute, 30-second audio tape that I was going to play for the producers so they would know. This was done deliberately. Corey asked me for documents. I got the documents. My bank and anybody he needs to talk to is a phone call away. They did it deliberately because they're trying to give me a hard time and block access to a public facility. It's all about making a false court record.
So why did those policemen leave?
I called them because Corey was blocking my access.
So why didn't they arrest Corey?
I don't know. Why don't you ask them?
So they just hustled you out and then left?
Correct.
If I didn't have the camera, would they have taken you away?
They probably would have beaten me up. Thank
so it's
you.
like good that I had the camera?
Yes.
Well, now put it on me and I'll tell you my story.
Okay. I think you need to be up at that meeting now, and we can do this later. Go up to the meeting.
God bless you, Lydia. I mean, we would have been evicted tomorrow if it wasn't for you. Truly, we were on the ropes. You kept throwing water on us.
Where's Joe?
We went back in. Well, I finally walked.
Okay, you need to
can't
get up
walk.
there.
Okay. Thank you.
Because the purpose of this is to co-opt the meeting.
Right.
Is what they did.
Are you a producer?
Yeah.
How come?
Stop.
Why not?
Because I don't want to.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's like to get free speech to you. Tough process. Are you at the producers' meeting? I sure did. I got it on video.
No, this is not being taped. Sorry, this is not a public meeting. We're not taping this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Better not.
It's not.
Just
Whose
put
meeting?
it
We
away.
called.
Yeah.
Lydia did it, and you had her.
No, it's not being taped.
She
Sorry.
took it. Lydia got arrested.
It's a
You see
public
the
building.
cops?
Lydia did not get arrested.
Good. Wasn't that
Lydia
allowed?
did not get arrested.
I know, but she
And
was
Lydia
welcome
kept
here.
me and Joe from being
The
evicted.
meeting is not being taped.
I would have been evicted if it wasn't for Lydia
You'll be
Raven.
fine,
How many
but we're
people
not
here want
taping.
me to be evicted?
No,
How many
please
people
don't
raise your
start
hand?
that shit
You
up
want me to be
here.
evicted?
We don't want Lydia
look,
not welcome.
lady,
She should be
look.
here.
I have a petition.
Look, hold it.
Right now
Wait
for
a minute.
Lydia.
Wait a minute.
Who are
see
you?
how many people are here? You can't just walk in here and say, bang, you're going to start a show. You come and join with the rest of us.
I don't know who you are.
You don't have to
That's
know who I am.
Loren.
Yes, I do.
You don't. You just walked in here. I don't know who you are. But I know when you send your little emails around, I support your ass. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it.
How many people here believe in free
Don't start that
speech?
beef crap.
Free speech.
We all do, but that's why we have our show.
Then
You
why
don't
don't-
walk in
why don't
here
we-
showboating.
I'm not bullying you.
Yes, you are bullying me with a goddamn camera. I don't have my camera. You don't come in here with that stuff. Sit your ass down and join the crowd.
And you don't say that's
This is a
bullying?
democracy.
No, it's not. It's a
democracy.
republic. It's a
No,
republic.
Oh, well, we
A
cute.
democracy means
No, and I am an angry black woman. Angry and black. And female. Hold it.
I'm not
You
putting
don't
my
walk
camera
in here
away.
with a camera.
My camera.
You
is
don't
my
walk in here with no
shield.
camera.
I'm a public access.
No,
person.
but I didn't sign any release for you to take a picture
So
of
what?
me.
This is a
so
public
fuck,
building.
no, it's not.
Free speech
You
is
don't
public.
walk in here and try to railroad nobody.
Why did you
Who
stop
are
this
you?
meeting?
You sit your ass down like everybody else.
She called the cops. I had nothing to do with it.
I know, but
She called the cops because you were trying to prevent
You don't
her
know
from
what I was
the
trying to
meeting.
do because you wasn't here.
Listen,
wait a second.
I want to tell you, Lydia Raven was no.
No, she's not. No. You got to take precedent over everything. You can be heard. So everybody wants to be heard. You don't have any speaking in turn. Everybody's talking.
This meeting has been sabotaged by MNN.
Okay, fine. Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down and contact.
No, I'm not sitting down if I don't have my protection. I need this for my protection. This is my shield. This has protected me many times in court. I've sat in front of the worst judges in housing court. 111 is a house of ill repute. It's not pointed at me, but it's definitely recording.
Wait a minute, hold it.
I want to be videotaped. I have no shame of what I'm saying. I have no shame.
Hold it.
Do you work for Dan Coughlin?
I said, wait a minute, Joan. When I said she wanted to be videotaped, wait a minute.
Okay, videotape me.
But
you won't take my camera.
Of course not.
Thank you.
Sir.
Okay, look, now
I'm leaving.
Hello,
I'm not here.
calm down.
I'm not
right
gonna
now,
calm. Don't tell me
because
to
I
calm.
have the camera.
No, you got a camera?
I have the camera, and it will only be used.
Was
Do
to
talk
sabotage
to it.
That turns it off.
No, it doesn't, darling. You have
This was
to
to
press that
sabotage
to turn
this
it
meeting.
off. I have the same
So MNN has control over it.
And this is my
I
record.
understand
My
that.
record that
But
is going.
you know, this is a group.
Okay, so everybody who wants to be videotaped, be over here. Everyone, I want to be. Who am I?
I mean, I hope I'm not out of line here.
I'm happy to introduce myself to you.
We were some of the people who started this whole thing, fighting MNN for all the rights of the producers here. And Lydia, let me finish speaking to the man without being interrupted, please. And Lydia.
Hold a second.
You're not on camera. You're not on camera.
Wait a second.
He wants to be.
She's using the camera. That's not fair, Joe.
He wants to be on camera.
There's no permission.
Fucking bullshit, man. Good night.
She is not the good right now.
This is
Ask her.
this is the dumbest fucking thing.
You asked who we were.
You came in here with this camera. The whole thing is going to end.
end right now. Close it. Close it. People are going to leave. There will be no meeting. That woman should
I waste my time? Why should I waste my
do not
time?
take people without consent.
I have an obligation to my viewers. They need to know what price
you and your camera.
What price
The whole thing is disbanded because you and your camera.
No, it's not, Lydia.
Yes, it is.
You care
It's
about
disbanded now because of your camera.
Do you want to know who we are still?
No, I don't give a shit, man. This has got to be the biggest jerk-off I've attended in the last 6 months, man.
Who are you? We have strangers come in here. Why don't I want to know who you are? You asked who I was. Why would I not want to know who he is? And I can't believe you've done this to me, Arthur. I thought you were an ally.
Unbelievable.
I thought you were an ally.
What are you talking about? You came in here. I'm watching you.
I came in here to a public access meeting and I want to be recorded. I want my viewers to know what's happening. I don't get on in front of the camera and give them bullshit. I give them real stuff
Someone
that's
said
happening.
8 o'clock. This is not ethical.
8:30.
Integrity. Yeah, well, you were not here. You're not here till 9:15.
Then what we're going to do is have a meeting and it's going to be clear that we videotape the meeting.
The integrity is you ask people and you come here on time. That's it.
Do you know Obama and the UN kept me? I should have been here a long time ago.
No, honey.
I was on Third Avenue. I got off the bus and walked.
Well, I have a lot of respect for you, but 8:30 is 8:30. We were all here. We were here from 8 o'clock.
Have a word this evening, and keep doing nonsense public access. It's all about ratings at the end of the day. You got to give people what they want. You got to get the audience off.
The meeting started at 8:30 and you weren't here. So everybody's here.
So what?
No, so you can't walk in and take
And so because I brought in a camera, they don't want to be here? They're public access producers? They're ashamed of what they're saying. They're ashamed of their image.
Are you taping this?
Yeah.
And I'm on that?
I don't know.
Paula, have you been recording that?
Yes, for my protection.
For your protection.
For my
You don't
protection.
You don't have the right, Paula.
I have a right.
No.
To
Is
bring
your
that
camera on? Paula,
The MNN internet.
Is your
You're a
camera
good little
on?
Nazi for MNN. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you. Yes, you are.
Paula, is your camera on?
Took over something and you
I was
is your
shocked.
camera
I was
on?
shocked to see how the policemen were treating Lydia
Lydia
when she
called
was
them
only
herself.
asked. I know.
She called them herself.
She
So
called
why
them
would-
because Corey was blocking her right to free speech. And I would have
speech.
been banned
Paula,
a long
is
time
your
ago if
camera
I.
on?
This is my protection.
Is your
Yes, it's
who's-
always
who are you
on.
protecting?
Do you know we're videotaped here all the time?
Yeah, sure.
You don't believe it. You don't believe it. Thank you,
But
Gloria.
you don't
I'm
have
sorry.
right to put me on your show, ever.
Paula, you've been waiting for this. You don't have to do this.
If it wasn't for Lydia, I would have been evicted today. If it wasn't for Lydia, if it wasn't for people in the Supreme Court that are tired of the corruption.
We're here for MNN.
That's what I'm saying. You're here for a corporation. I'm here for the producers and for free speech. And I bet you that guy's recording. Who's he texting to? He won't tell me who is. Who's that man? Who are you? Who is that man?
You put our names.
Who is that man?
She's recording it.
Who is he?
No, she's recording it.
Yes, I'm recording.
She is
and she's recording me.
To identify myself based
She's
on the
recording
idea
me.
that I'm actually Haile Selassie in white.
Fine. You can record me. That's fine.
Simply because I don't want to be recorded. I have the right not to be recorded, and MNN requires you to request a release. Is that being recorded?
So what? I don't care. MNN has so many
Did you get a release from me? You did not get a release from me.
And you don't have a release from me.
I don't know who you are.
And you
But if
did
you
not
do
ask.
show me on TV or any of that, you will hear from my attorneys.
Oh, fine. Fine.
No, you
And
don't
maybe
wanna
I'll
play
find
with
out
me.
who
You
you
don't wanna
are.
play with me.
No, maybe you should ask
So who is
permission.
he? Who's that man?
He's a producer.
Who's that man?
But maybe you
Who's
should
that
ask permission, and if people have
Gloria,
a right.
you have no idea what I've gone through fighting what you know is a corrupt system. You know it. You were the first person that told me. You were the first person that told me.
Your agenda and like say, hey, this is what's
We should have a public access meeting where public access producers are not ashamed to be on camera. I am not ashamed to be on camera.
I'm not ashamed.
Then you're ashamed. You're either ashamed or you're
I do
fearful.
not want to be destroyed in public.
Who's going to destroy you? The viewers don't
puts
destroy
stuff
you.
Up and
Who
changes
destroys
and
you?
texts things. Did you see all those emails I got?
No. I don't look at them after a while.
You got copies of them.
Unbelievable. Where's Victor? Where's Victor Taplin when we need him?
Oh, Victor Taplin.
God bless his soul. They're going to destroy public access. Comcast is going to destroy it.
Eating each other, right?
What's that?
Eating each other, that's great.
Eating each other?
Eating each other, because you sit down to have a meeting and you
Why were
start
they
fighting.
fighting in the meeting?
Lydia Radin started the meeting. She said the public access producers should organize. She had a videotape from Flint, Michigan by the city attorney who was on the advisory committee for Comcast when Comcast was coming into Flint, Michigan. He eventually saw the demise of public access. He was on the advisory committee. They were wooing him, they were seducing him, they said all these things they were going to do for the community, and they destroyed it completely. And so we were going to play this for the producers so they would know that. We were going to create a show so our viewers would know that. Each producer has a different following, different viewers. And we felt it's a very strong obligation to share very valuable information and for the viewers to understand with what price the flesh and blood public access producers are paying to get an authentic, non-commercial, non-corporate message out. That's what the purpose was of the meeting.
So then why was there a fight between Joan
So Corey apparently is getting directives from above, and Corey said that Lydia has no residency in Manhattan. Well, if Lydia has no residency, why do we have daily shows with Tom Hartman, who nobody has ever seen, out of Washington, D.C.? Now we have a daily show from Stephanie Miller, some person out of L.A. that does goofy Howard Stern stuff, right after Amy Goodman on the Community Affairs channel, when people need to know about stop and frisk, about the evictions, about the homelessness, the soup kitchens, the homeless shelters. None of them get public access anymore. So we're having a splintered community by design. People who used to see me, they can't see me anymore. They can't afford cable anymore. I'm seeing this shut down. I was the wealthiest person in my building in Gramercy Park in 1998 when I moved in. When my finances changed, my board came in, changed my locks, and stole my stock certificate. It took me 6 years to put in my own lawsuit because I was waiting to get rich again so I could pay lawyers $350 an hour to litigate for my wounded ego. It was only my wounded ego. Why did they come in and change my locks? I didn't know they stole my stock certificate. It took me 4 years to learn about bank fraud to understand that they stole the stock certificate. And by that time, I was into it very deep and I wasn't backing down. And actually, Gloria Messer was the one who first opened my eyes that the co-op system is a swindle. Now, the co-op system is a variation of the same theme, whether it's broadband on the internet, whether you're talking, it's planned foreclosure. What we have is a systematic destruction of the authentic culture and voice of the people to be replaced by the highest bidder, the highest bidder.
So let me ask, you got your stocking back?
What's that?
You got the thing that he's stolen from you back?
No, when I was with my mother in a nursing home in California, I got a phone call and said that they've sold my place in a fraudulent, illegal in New York foreclosure. Because no judge signed off that I forfeited my right of ownership. But these people are predatory. And every time I go to
the meeting.
Why didn't they let her in?
They did. She was inside. She was like, but she had called them earlier or something. I don't know.
I want to hear.
When you do it on Microsoft Word or whatever your program is that you make that you type it up on, don't call this format. Don't put line breaks in because the line breaks close out.
I'm playing Maria Bonilla, a Honduran babe who works in both boards. Beautiful restaurant where every welcome is
Can we hear the tape?
Yes.
From
you
Flint,
can.
Michigan?
Yes, you can. I'm going to play it right now. Let me just give. This is what we
Frank
want.
tried to get you in there, and he's.
No.
I'm not getting you on, don't worry.
Wait, I want to give you.
There's so much abuse going on, and
we were going to
the
have
producers have said, okay, I want to use the studio, the open studio, on such and such a date. They signed up for it, and it was on the book that they could have it. Then Dan Copeland has some pay people come in,
or
and all of a sudden they get either politicians or pay people, and all of a sudden the producer can't have that studio that they already booked. And so many other, we're only telling you a few of the abuses that are happening.
So what is this? Who's in charge of all the producers, Claude?
We were going to have an election, and me, Paula, and Joe were going to just get the group up and running, and then we wanted elections. We didn't want to do this, but we know if we don't do something, we're going to lose public access. So we sucked it up. We got 50,000 different things to do. We sucked it up. We called the meeting, and then it was just a big circus.
And then they planted people in to sabotage it.
Exactly.
So let's listen to the Flint, Michigan thing. I want my viewers to see that.
Okay.
All right.
So this is what you do.
Should stay and hear this.
What we want, you'll be off camera. What we want.
I don't give a shit about that.
What we.
You don't care?
Not at my point in my life.
You don't care about being on camera?
Huh?
That's good. That's good. We need more people.
I don't give a shit. Wait. What are they gonna do? Come to my house in the middle of the night?
They
don't want to.
Can I put you on camera?
We got this guy over here.
Do I have your permission to put you on camera?
What?
Do I have your permission to put you on camera?
You have my permission to put me on camera.
Yay.
You have my permission to put me on camera. My name is Steve Kaufman, and I produce Hanshi's World.
All right, when do we
Which is
find
probably the most interesting MNN show anyway.
Tell us about Hanshi's World.
Hanshi's World is a very, very interesting show because I interview musicians, artists, writers, but I make sure not to let myself get annoyed by people who interrupt me while I'm trying to talk by playing their idiot guitar.
Yeah, please stop, Frank.
Yeah,
you want to knock that off, please?
Yeah.
I'm just
Thank you very
strumming
much.
a little blues background music.
Yeah, I'm sure you sound real good. All right, so anyway, the thing is like,
Are you
and I
worried
also
about
I interview a lot of world-renowned martial arts masters, of which I am one.
Wing Chun?
He also ran as an independent, as a Republican for the city council.
I've also been I was a contender.
God bless him, and he got, what, 23 or 25% of the vote.
Why don't you let me do my own interview, man?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Lydia.
I'm not interrupting you. Anyway, so I ran in District 5, the Upper East Side. And I put about 8 weeks into doing it because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't, without any money, without any backup support or guidance by the Republican Committee of New York, okay, man. And I nailed against an incumbent 27% in 8 weeks, man. Okay, so that's why I say, when I focus on something, it gets done, man.
Great. Now, that's a good lead-in to Flint, Michigan.
Now, what's it? No, it isn't, because I'm not done, man. Okay, so the point here is that I have an opportunity to produce a show as an independent, man. Whatever's involved, however that works, and I learned, what I had to learn. And I've already produced 80 shows, okay? And Lydia told me that, hey, they're looking to shut down MNN. I says, how are they going to shut down MNN, And she says, well, the corporate thing and all this and all that and all the other thing. I know there's no sign up here anymore, so that's probably some part of some kind of a strategy. But I don't know what's going on. I don't have the pros and the cons from both sides. Everything I'm getting is hearsay.
Okay, do you want to listen to
No. Okay. So what I need to know, if I'm going to be a viable, what the hell's the word, advocate, all right? I got to know what's going on both sides. I don't want to hear that this one got screwed, or this one couldn't do that, or this one tried to do this, or they're trying to get rid of this guy, they're trying to do this, that, and the other thing. That, to me, is idiocy, okay? You want to get something done, you want a substantial leader, somebody who knows how to deal on the corporate level because I've only written 37 books on the subject. And I'm
37 books?
Yeah.
And 80 videos.
Huh?
And 80 videos. You've produced 80 videos.
80 videos, yeah.
TV shows.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I produced 2,000. You asked who I was.
Well, there you go. Okay.
No, listen. All we want to do is get a producers organization up and running. We'd love you to have a leadership position. We want to make sure that we save public access.
Yeah, don't vote me. Just appoint me.
I'll be happy to do it.
I have not got any time or patience for this idiocy. Vote for me, I'll set you free crap. You want something done, you come to me, I'll say, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I can't do it. Okay. I'm not going to give you any dreams or any nonsense like that, man.
Just give your name and say that I have permission to tape record this statement that you're making to help the producers at MNN save public access. That would be huge. Go ahead.
My name is Terry Bankert. I'm giving permission to Lydia to tape this conversation and use it in pieces or in total in the way she wants.
Thank you. We're trying to save public access, and my producers want to know from your experience, did they do away with public access in Flint?
Well, they've effectively done away with their public access in Flint. I was on the, I used to be city clerk. I used to be Flint ombudsman. I was on the cable advisory board. I was an inside observer to the process of Comcast removing itself, never spending the franchise fee on studio or public access, and it was spent on other things, and gradually disengaging from Flint. And I watched Michigan tear down the public access channel process to centralized locations and hubs. Now, I wasn't a producer, but I was a participant for about 6 years on a program. And I've done a lot of social media, and I've done a lot of radio promoting.
Are you an attorney?
I'm an attorney in Flint, Michigan. I do family law and bankruptcy, and I have a high internet presence, and I'm a regular commenter on all forums using my own name.
So when you're telling my producers here in Manhattan, take this seriously, public access will be taken away from you, and it will be done gradually to try to fool you, deceive you, make you know.
Absolutely. The bean counters are in charge. The equity interests are unrepresented. You need to be forceful and aggressive. Michigan went to sleep, and they took it from us.
Thank you. That's all I needed. Thank you, sir. All righty. I'm going to play this tonight at my producer meeting so that hopefully we can shake them and wake them up and they can take their.
Well, you need to. My hope is you're very well equipped to do just that. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.